welcome back to my channel. My name is Veronia, and in today's video I want to talk about my favorite money saving tips. Now, many of you may know that I absolutely love saving money, and the reason being is because saving money can allow you to do so many things. It can help you pay off debt, it can help you start investing, it can help you save for other things like a house, for example. And so what I want to do is just talk about some of the things that have really helped me to kind of shift my mindset when it comes to saving money, and that's given me the chance to build such a great foundation when it comes to building wealth and working on my personal finances. Plus, do I have a treat for you, because on Tuesday the 29th of March I am going to be going live, yes, live, talking about the 3-step method that has allowed me to save even more money. So I'm going to be deep diving on the concepts that allowed me to save so much money that I was essentially able to take a career break and quit my 9-to-5 job. So if you do want to join me on Tuesday the 29th of March live, then of course I will leave the link for you to register up here for you and in the description below, and I can't wait to see you there. So one of my first favorite money tips that I want to give you is the idea of treating your savings like a bill. Now, the reason why this has been such a game-changing thing for me is because what I used to do, and I know many people tend to do this as well, but what I would do is essentially just treat my savings like it was nothing, or like it was just part of my general spending. And so when I saw it like that, essentially what I thought is that I would just be saving money when I have money left over at the end of the week or month, depending on when I got paid. But when I did that, I no longer treated my savings like it was a priority. I was just treating it like it was just part of my general spending. And so when I would go through the month, I just wouldn't really think about my savings. I would just be spending my money, not really thinking about my savings at all. And so what that meant was, by the end of the month, I had no money left to put into my savings, okay? Everything was spent, everything was gone. Whereas when it came to my other bills, so my essential bills, for example, those would get paid pretty much at the beginning of the month, because I knew that I needed to pay for them, right? If I didn't pay for my rent, for example, then that was going to be a problem. If I didn't pay for certain things, then that was going to impact things like my credit score. And so what that meant is that I would prioritize those bills first, because I knew I needed to pay for them. So by actually treating my savings like an essential bill, what I was basically doing was telling myself that my savings needs to be a priority. So I can't just be saying, yeah, I'll just see how much I can save at the end of the month. No, when I treated my savings like a bill, what I was saying to myself is, when I'm actually paying all of my other essential bills, I'm also going to be setting money aside for my savings at the same time as when I pay my essential bills. So if you've never really thought of your savings as a bill before, then maybe it's time to experiment. Try and see if you can think of your savings as if it's a bill, as if you're paying your utility bill or your rent or your mortgage. Try to use that mindset around it and see if anything changes. And if you're liking this video so far, then feel free to give me a thumbs up, as it really does help to support the channel. Plus, I'm sure you know it's free. Now, another money saving tip I want to give you is the idea of learning how to control your spending. Now, this may be surprising to you, but for many people, the reason why they're unable to save money is because they are overspending in the first place. And what I mean by that is, because they are now spending all of this money, the consequence is that they have no money left to save. So let's say that you really want to at least be saving 20% of your income, but you find that you pretty much just spend 100% of your income every single time. Well, then it's going to be very difficult to save that 20%, because you're already spending 100% of your income. Now then you might be thinking, okay, Auntie V, what I could potentially do is maybe just start making more money so that I can basically pocket the difference and save that money instead. Now, in theory, yes, that would be absolutely amazing, and that could potentially help. However, what you might find is, because you haven't actually dealt with the habits of overspending, even if you now start to make more money, you may find that you actually end up spending even more money, because you have all of this free money and you have no idea what to do with it. And if you didn't know, there's actually a term for it, and it's called lifestyle creep. And what that means essentially is, even though you may be making more money, your lifestyle is likely to also increase. And so you may be buying more expenses, you may be buying more liabilities. And so what that means is, rather than you saving the difference, you're just actually spending more money. And so making more money hasn't necessarily fixed the problem. So the one big tip I would give you is, if you really want to be able to save more money, make sure you're really trying to fix the problem of overspending, because what that will do is allow you to free some money, which you can then use to save instead. Now, if you find that you struggle with overspending, or even just impulse buying sometimes, then definitely check out my video where I talk about some of the things that I did to overcome that process, which allowed me to save even more money. So if you haven't watched that, I'll link that up here for you and in the description below. Now, the next money saving tip I want to give you is the idea of doing an audit on your current expenses. Now, the reason why I wanted to mention this point is because you would be surprised at the amount of savings you could make just on your current expenses. So when I'm talking about doing an audit, what I'm essentially saying is just going through your bank statements and really just evaluating whether there's some things that you could potentially save money on. So for example, let's say that you decide to go through your bank statements and you see that you're subscribed to Amazon Prime, Hulu, Disney Plus, Netflix, but really and truly 99% of the time you're only watching Netflix. Well, then it may make sense to just get rid of those free subscriptions because you don't even use them and they're not serving you any purpose. And what that means is that by getting rid of them, you've basically saved money on those upcoming payments. Likewise, by doing that audit, it's going to allow you to see if there are any potential expenses that you may be able to save money on. So for example, you may have a gym membership where you're paying £100 or dollars for, but maybe you find that there's actually a similar gym that you could go to that's half the cost, but it's still the same value. And so you could be making some great savings there just by looking through your expenses and seeking out any better deals. Now, my next favorite money tip I want to give you is the idea of just making saving money fun and being a bit creative with it. Now, the reason why I wanted to make this point is because I feel like sometimes when we're talking about saving money, it just feels like it should be such a painful process and that it just feels very restricting. Whereas for myself and my clients, for us, saving money can actually be really fun and it doesn't need to be painful or restricting at all. So for example, let's say that you're trying to save up for a new pair of shoes. Well, what you could do is potentially think about how you can be creative with that. Maybe you decide to sell some of your old shoes so that you can use that money to pay for your new pair of shoes. And this is something that I actually did because I got inspired by my own client who had basically been saving up for a new jacket by selling some of her old clothes to pay for that jacket. So I decided to do something similar. I had been thinking about things that I really wanted to save for and thought to myself, how can I get creative with this? So what I did is decide to actually sell some of my clothes because I'm not even gonna lie to you, some of them have just been collecting dust for years and I'm probably never going to wear them again anyway. And so I went on my Instagram stories letting you guys know and asking you where I should sell my clothes. And so many of you would message me back and let me know the sites that you were using to sell some of your stuff as well. And so what I'm trying to say is the fact that you can be creative when it comes to saving money. You don't have to completely restrict yourself or stop your spending. Now, if you would like more personalized support when it comes to saving money, then definitely check out my one-to-one coaching program, because essentially what we do is just really work through your finances in depth so we can figure out how you can save that money whilst also giving you the freedom to spend that money too. So make sure you check that out if you haven't already. You can book a free interest call with me. I'll link more information up here for you and in the description below. So if you did like this video, then please do give me a thumbs up if you haven't already, and let me know in the comments, what are some of your favorite money saving tips? I do post every Tuesday and Friday, so if you would like to know more, then of course you can subscribe to my channel. Plus remember, I'm also going to be doing a free live training on the 29th of March, so make sure you do check that out if you haven't already, and I will see you guys on Tuesday.